So we're going now to see the Ches Amud Aleph. So before I start, I put some akdamas here to know some of the terminology. There's Chavos Rishayna, that means the Isser L'Tama Tluya. That's called Chavos Rishayna. You're going to see the Mishnah soon. As a Mishnah Masechta Trumas, if Chavos Rishayna by Safek Tuma, what to do? That's called Chavos Rishayna. There's three shittas. If you should put it in Makam HaTurfa, or Makam HaMutzna, or Aychadish by Davar. That's called Chavos Rishayna. Next Mishnah is called Chavos Shniya. That Mutar L'Taris Omer L'Tamei. It's a Mishnah that says that when Truma is about to go to Ibud, you can save it and you put it in a Tomana Keli and you Betama the Truma by Yadayim, because it's anyway going to fall into Tuma if you don't do it. So you might let everybody do it by Yadayim. That's called Chavos Shniya. That's what Yeshua holds, that you're allowed to accept that you receive the Tumah and the clay Tumah. Next, Rameir says, Medivreim Lamadu, Mutter the Tama Tohir Pass Erpes. So that's Rameir's statement. Rameir says, Einim Lamid, says you cannot do it. Reb Shimon says like this. Reb Shimon is talking on the Machlokes of Blazer Reb Shua, and as I said before, there was a certain Kabbalah that the Blazer Reb Shua are arguing about in this subject, about burning Tahirim, Tmeya, Tluya, this whole subject. And it's not even clear if the Kabbalah wasn't Erev Pesach or all year round. That alone was also not clear. So Reb Shimon said like this on this subject. Al Tahirim bat Tmeya she'ein soif. Afil Erev Pesach, you cannot burn Tahirim Tmeya. He says, no way, you cannot burn. Taliya Tmeya, you could be soif. Afi b'shayim ha'shana. He holds Taluya Tmeya. That's what Rabbi Yeshua holds. Yeshua says, Taluya Tameya you can burn. Okay, now hopefully we'll be able to understand the sugya. It's a long sugya, but that's is Hashem do step by step. Tamatanina, it says there, the mission that's Masechet Trumas. Chavos Trumas Shnei Basofik Tuma. Lezo Oimem Toisim Anachas Mokim Turfa Yanechani Mokim Mutzi. Moisim Megula Yichasena. You always have to do something to make it less susceptible for tumah. That's what Rebbe says. Opposite. You don't have to care. Since it's anyway suffix tumah, you gotta open it up and make it to become even more tumah. So this is a very general question here that the Gemara is handling here. The Gemara is done. General then, any tumah teluya, it's noted by suffix by tumah and a certain truma. Are you allowed to burn it or not? It's a very general. It's not talking about Pesach all year round. You anyway cannot have no use out of it. It's teluya. So do we have to wait? Maybe Eliyahu is going to come and say it's tar, or do we say no? It's teluya. You can burn it. So he says from all this shit is here. You see teluya also the soifa. Everybody's saying something else. Some say you should Mokum HaMutzna, some say you should Yegalena, Echadish, but nobody says this Eitzah that's no Safek Tumah, just go ahead and burn it. Chavrai B'Shem HaBlazer, Chavos Rishoyne Kirab Yosi. He says this whole Mishnah that everybody agrees here, all the Tanoma Kadmoinim, you have to understand here, it's important to understand the sugya here, that there's two doiras. There's a Blazer of Shua and of Gamliel. That's one generation. And then, 2 generations later, came Reb Meir, Reb Yosi, and Reb Yehuda, Reb Shimon. And they are arguing what the Doros HaKadmonim were saying. This is important in a lot of places in Shas. I'm just saying it here, because here it's important to understand. So he's saying that Reb Yosi is the Tana that is saying over this whole Mishnah that the Kuli Alma, you're not allowed to burn Teluya. Chavos Rishoyne Kirab Yosi. Hashniya. The second Mishnah. That's the next Mishnah Masechta Terumas talks about the fact that you're allowed to be Metama B'Yadayim Teruma that's oimed to become tummy. As I said, the teruma is about to fall into Chum Tameim, so you want to save it shouldn't be mafsed the whole thing, so you want to receive it in a clay tummy. That's the Mishnah following that Mishnah. That Mishnah goes according to Rav Meir. So the Chavrayas held that these two Mishnayos are not the same. They're not the same shitta aliba the Rabbi Yeshua. We have to focus on Rabbi Yeshua because we pass always like Rabbi Yeshua, Rabbi Lezer, Rabbi Yeshua. So Chavraya was arguing that it cannot go. These two Rabbi Yeshuas don't really match up. Because here Rabbi Yeshua says you're allowed to be metama be a dime, and there it says only you're allowed to put it in Mokum HaTorfa. So he said that these two Mishnayos are two Tanoim alibid Rabbi Yeshua. One is Rabbi Meir alibid Rabbi Yeshua, one is Rabbi Yossi alibid Rabbi Yeshua. The first one is Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi is more machmer. The second one is Rabbi Meir. So Gemara is going to explain. Chavai on Mechavos Rishonim ki Rabbi Yossi, but that's Rabbi Meir. No, Meir wouldn't agree to that fact that of the Chavos Rishonim, that din. Chavos Rishonim ki Rabbi Meir, but that's Rabbi Yossi. The second Chavos that you say you're allowed to be Matam B'Yadayim is only going according to Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Yossi would not agree to that. As I said, we're talking now a little bit Rabbi Yeshua. What is a shittas Rabbi Yeshua? So Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yossi are arguing what is shittas Rabbi Yeshua here. So now Om Aloin Rabbi Yassa. It's not Rabbi Yossi. It's going to be really confusing. So I want to change it. You should be able to understand that this is an Amoira Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi said Om Aloin Rabbi Yossi said for the Chavraya. Chamun ma'atin om. See what you're saying. In other words, what are you saying? Let's see if what you're saying makes sense. Chavos HaRishonim. You're saying Chavos HaRishonim, Rabbi Yossi, Ram Kirmei Soif, Shimon Soif. That's what you're saying. That this statement that Chavos HaRishonim means that it also to burn Tluya. That's basically what Chavos HaRishonim is saying. That even though it's Tluya, you cannot burn it, you cannot do anything with your diet. The most you can do, if Shua says, you put it in Mokum HaTorf. So you're saying to Rabbi Yossi, it only goes according to Rabbi Yossi. He says Rabbi Yossi is the one that says that fact. It's Machmer. That's what he's saying. That a mayor has no issue, just like he holds you can be Matama Truma that goes Leibut. Reb Shimon also not, because Reb Shimon is not really mentioned there, but I guess we knew that Reb Shimon is also part of this group. He doesn't agree to Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi is our Mishnah, he's Machmer, Einem Amida. But Reb Meir and Reb Shimon can both say that they're arguing on that Chavos Rishon, on that Mishnah. So if that's true, because that's what essentially that's what the Chavrai wanted to say, that goes only according to Reb Meir. In other words, the other Tanoim in that generation, that's Rabbi Yossi and Reb Shimon, argued on him, and specifically that you're allowed to burn Tluya. This is what we're talking. This is the main discussion here, because that's what that Mishnah is hinting, that you cannot burn Tluya. So it means that the other Tanoim, Meir Reb Shimon, namely Meir Reb Shimon, holds you could burn. V'yibra Meir Reb Shimon al Rabbi Yossi, let them be more v'yisroi. He never heard such a thing, that the Chacham should paskin for people that you can burn. So you see, it doesn't, something is wrong here. You're saying that only goes according to a mayor. It means the other shittas hold that you could burn. If so, why aren't we burning today? Nobody does that. Hey, now I'm saying a side note. Hey, you're saying that Yirbu, right? That if that Mishnah goes according to a mayor, Rabbi holds Soifen. Where do you find the Pshima says Soifen? Adot Taninan, Moide Reb Lezer Reb Yeshua, Soifen Zul Atzma Zul Atzma. Rabbi Yechon Pshima Shanya. The Pshima is the one that learned it. Mishasenu, Imateres Lisrif, Tuluya. Our mission that says Soir from Zula Atzma. Very interesting Gemara here. So, Shimon said that, right? What does Shimon say? He's saying you cannot burn Tahir Matmeya, just he's talking to Luya. And the Gemara is medayik from this, an amazing thing. We're not talking about Erev Pesach here. He says, the Gemara, normally we think of Shimon as a big machmir. He says, Shesoir from Zula Atzma. You have to burn Teluya ala Atzma, Timei ala Atzma. That's what it sounds in Bavli also. Shimon is very machmir. He says you cannot Erev Pesach burn even Teluya ama Timei. The moide Shesoir from Zula Atzma. But an amazing diak the Yishalmi learned. It's dover mamash dover pelamoid. That means Soif and Zula Atzma in middle of the year you can burn a Teluya. That's a pillar plan. So he's like sneaking in a big color here that you're allowed to build the Atzma. You're allowed to burn Teluya. Because this is what we're focusing here. If you're allowed to burn Teluya. So we're seeing here that these two Tanan, Reb Shimon and Reb Meir, both are going to say against Reb Yosi, they both matter to burn a Teluya. Choli Masashana. Teluya, no problem. Go ahead and burn it. In Taim Lesla Meir Teluya, if you say that the Meir doesn't hold of Teluya, but Tanat Ruma Teluya Tahira, Soif Nes Erev Shabbos and Chasheichen. So you see, the Meir says, you're not allowed to burn. So how can you say? Now it's asking a question on the Chavraya. You say that according to the Meir, no problem, just go ahead and burn Teluya. He said only Rabbi Yossi is Machmer. Rabbi Meir, no problem. You go anytime you want, you burn Teluya. It's not true. You see, Teluya Tahira, Soifness Erev Im Chasheicha means before that you cannot just randomly on a random Tuesday burn Truma Teluya. Only if it's Erev Pesach Im Chasheicha. Omer Bazari Kum Rav Mana. Not talking a real Teluya. You're talking a Teluya that you want to ask a Chacham. That's why you're not allowed to burn it, because maybe it's not Tomei B'chalal. It's not a Teluya that you have no way how to find out. It's just that you push the Am Aretz. If it's a real Teluya, Rebbe says you're allowed to burn it maybe. No. Kol man da nan, everywhere where you find the word Teluya, the Teluya Shadait ain't that Lash. Whenever you see the word Teluya and the Masechta, and anywhere in Shas, it means ain't that Lash. That's not even called Teluya. Because maybe it's just Amma Aretz, maybe you think it's Fradeyas Matama. The Tana came, Trumat Teluya Sha'amru Ta'ira, he doesn't know if it's Ta'ira or Tama. So obviously, when it's talking about Teluya, it means a real Teluya. You don't know if a Sheretz touched it or not. And Afal Pikein, the Meir says you're not allowed to burn it until Im Chasheicha. So again, Kasha and Chavraya, they're making a statement that according to the Meir, according to Reb Shimon, you're allowed to burn Teluya. We see both of them are Shimon is okay. We find Reb Shimon, but Reb Meir it doesn't work out. So the Gemara, Mike, how can you answer this question? If it would have been come Tomei middle of the year, you can burn it right away, according to Reb Meir. We're talking here that it just so happened that it became Tomei 5 minutes before Shabbos. So that's why Meir says the point is that once you're not going to burn on Shabbos, because Shabbos you can't burn. So he says burn it now, but not that if it would have been Teluya before that, you would have been able to burn it. Meir says that Teluya you can burn all year round. Here Meir is saying that don't let it stay on Shabbos. Don't save it even a minute, because on Shabbos you can't burn it anymore. But according to Meir, any Teluya you can burn right away. So it's not that you're talking that it became Teluya a long time ago. Meir is telling you to wait till the last minute. That's